I don't know how the who do I can add people? Invite friends. Invite friends. Okay, I'm going to invite friends. I'm inviting tons of people. I don't know. There's probably too many to invite. Tick, 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 tick. All the top names. Okay, I'm going to stop here in a minute. It's too many. It's too many. I gotta stop. I can't stop. I gotta stop. I can't stop. I gotta stop. I can't stop. Okay. I was inviting you. I like it, but there's too many people. This is actually the first time I've done a walk and talk, and I'm going to try to make it just stream of consciousness. But sometimes when I'm really processing ideas, or I feel like there's a buildup of energy, or like when there's kind of a clarity coming, I don't know if but there's like a buildup of sometimes it's like an angst. It's like a, hello. It's like just kind of the feeling that clarity is right around the corner. But so I forced myself to walk. So this is the first time I've walked along the, I think this is called the San Diego River?
It is.
Okay, I thought so. But it's in Mission Valley, and I've actually never walked along here before. But I was out and I was shopping over here, and I go, oh, this is the perfect time to do a walk and talk. So things were on my mind, and I love all you. I love, more than anything, I realized I watched a video by one of my favorite vloggers named Casey Neistat, Neistat. He's world famous now, but I love how he just lives his life and he takes a camera with him, and he basically has charted his own course. He's done his own trail, and I love that, and that's what I'm doing. And I think sometimes what he said is, don't focus on the success, or don't focus on the end result. Focus on the process. Focus on what it feels like. Focus on the fun. And that's why I do these videos like, what sounds like fun now? What sounds like fun now? Because you can start to get caught in this, oh, I want to achieve this, or I want this outcome. And what happens is when we stick our creative process onto a specific outcome, then it stifles the process because it's not fun anymore. It's got like this pressure to it. And for me, I ask the question all the time, when am I going to start making the big money? And it seems like for me, I really have to leave money out of it. Because I'm not a natural businessman, meaning if you look at some of the stories of famous billionaires, they tell a story of, even from a very young age, they were finding ways to make money. Making the money is really integral to their idea of the fun. Making the money is really integral to their idea of expression and creativity. And for me, the money's not really an element, really. It's just not. My creation is totally apart from money. And so whenever I insert money into my creations, I kind of get this split energy of like, so I do my best. Oh, here goes the trolley. And yes, if you're wondering, it is 70 degrees here right now, and I am wearing flip-flops and shorts. It's, I know exactly what to do, and it's perfect. But as I was processing, sometimes you might have seen this too, and let me use this as a jumping off point. People will post, I'm declaring today that I'm a billionaire. And people are like, me too, yes, amen. I'm like, okay, I like that. You're shooting for the stars. But if money is energy, the question is, how much energy are we currently flowing? Are we flowing billion-dollar energy? And plus, billion is, that was part of the reason I made the post today is, I'm basking in the essence of my eternal, infinite, boundless abundance. Our abundance knows no dollar amount. Our abundance is timeless. It's priceless. It's so, what's the price of a sunset? What's the price of health? These things, I understand though, having a lot of money let me say this, having a lot of money or making money is essential, is integral to the way some people live more than me. And I want to say right now that each one of us has a different makeup to what makes us happy, to our journey. And I'm just sharing my opinion. So hopefully what you can take from this is you can apply the principles to how you live, because if the making the money is the fun part for you, then follow the fun, right? It's all about following the fun. So, whatever's fun is the key. So I'm sharing my perspective. So when people talk about, if you declare you're a billionaire, type yes. I'm like, yeah, but if right now you're flowing $25,000 a year energy, how you think you're going to go from 25,000 to $1 billion? It's about how much energy are you flowing? How much energy are you receiving? How much energy? How much contribution? And I watched a really cool video today about whatever happened to Akon. Remember this? I want to know right now, right now. He's from Senegal, and he lived in the United States for a while, but he lived a lot back and forth. And he went to his grandmother's house in Senegal, and she still didn't have electricity in 2014. He said, oh, come on, Grandma. It's 2014. And he found out that actually a Chinese company gave him $1 billion, and it wasn't enough. And through his efforts, he's given electricity and power to 75 million people. And I thought, I bet that was fun. I bet that was fun, because remember, we have to follow the fun. We have to follow the fun. Follow the fun, but see, okay, this is the key. Most of us grow up with a lot of resistance around money. I don't know why. It seems that that's kind of our parents tell us, hey, don't waste that. Use this. Now, some people, I don't know what the percentage would be, but some people where I grew up with, we always had enough. Money was abundant. It's all good. All this and all this. And I'm like, if that's the case for you, then you're probably not going to relate to my video, but that's okay. But most of us grew up. I remember when my mom got remarried, and we had a great, our family was as good as could be expected, although I lived most of my teenage years very disgruntled. I developed a very angry, frustrated persona at a young age. I didn't know how to channel this energy, and my parents were very young, and they weren't in the mood for it, and so I heard a lot of, no, stop it, sit down, be quiet, most of my life. It's hard for you to imagine now that Dr. Fun grew up primarily angry, sullen, and yeah, I did. And then for decades I told that story. I tell people, for decades I tried to blame mom, blame this, blame that. I wanted to tell anyone I could about my sad story. And the more I talked about it, it didn't change. And then I think it was when I learned about Abraham Hicks that I just stopped telling the story. And you know what happens when you stop telling the story? It disappears. I did a lot of tapping. I did everything I could to release the energy, because if you have a lot of blocked energy around certain topics, use whatever modality helps you to clear the energy. Hi, Tracy Birmingham, Fitzgerald, which I don't look at the comments because I'm too busy talking, but I'll look at them later. When you have energy blocks and things, do whatever you got to do to feel good. I used to walk and tap everywhere I went. I used to go listen to Brad Yates on YouTube. I used to Robert Smith. I used to listen to everybody. I did Sedona Method, the work, anything you got to do to clear the energy. But now my energy is clear, and I can't really find any reasons to tap anymore. But whatever. That's just me. But now I can't remember what it was like to be angry. The other day I was chatting with someone who's received some of my songs, and I don't really know the person well, but I remember they were communicating with me about how they lived in this utter hellhole, and how their life was hell, and their relationship was hell, and their everything was hell. And I was like, Oh yeah, I used to know what that feels like. And I literally was like, but I can't remember now. Literally, I can't remember. I used to write these long poems and these, oh, how life was, I used to feel like I was stuck in a cave and life was miserable. And I only had this one friend I used to call in England and say, is there hope for me? And I used to seriously be like, is there hope for me? I felt so lost. That's why I tell people, you know, some of us have attracted extreme circumstances in order to get clarity. And I lived in kind of a feeling of being stuck for a long time, like decades. People say, Tim, how are you so happy now? It's because I don't know. I just got tired of it. It didn't work anymore. And 4 years ago, most of you know, 4 years ago, I left. I've been living homeless for 4 years, or so to speak, you know, and, you know, I needed that time to focus on this vision, to focus on these songs, focus on how to be happy. So back to money. So this idea of I want so much money. Now this is my concern. Anytime we are asking for more money from an awareness of not enough money, we're actually contributing to the wrong end of the stick. Abraham talks about every topic is actually two subjects: the lack of and and having the thing. So I noticed that any time I focus on wanting more money from a place of not having enough money, that it doesn't work. And yet most of my life I lived working jobs that was to pay the bills so I could have a place to live and to survive, which most of us do. We have jobs that we enjoy to some degree or another, but for the most part, if we could quit today, we would. And I finally did. And I said, I'm not going to do it anymore. I said, universe, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I don't care what happens. And I don't care what happens. And I didn't care what happened. And people say, how did you do it? I didn't care. I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to keep sabotaging my dreams. For me, I'm a very extreme person. So I had to leave everything. And I left everything. On March 31st, 2014, I came home to visit my family. And when I came back to San Francisco, I didn't have a place to live. So I started living at the beach, living different places, and I've been outside ever since. And I can finally take the time now to really find my purpose. And so I'm able to talk about money from a very essential point of view. I'm able to look at money from, I have new shoes now. I just have enough, I have food, clothing, shelter, computer, and phone, and internet. Wow, I have everything. What else would I want? So when it comes to money, I realized that yesterday I had this impulse because last month I couldn't pay my phone bill, so I didn't have data. And I was using Wi-Fi here and there and different things. And so but I go, that's okay. But then the desire to have the data, to have access, to be able to do this, it grew more and more until yesterday I just felt inspired to write a post about, hey, if you'd like to give, in one day I got $100. So I was able to pay for my Spotify and I was able to pay for my phone bill, which is $60. And I was like, oh, man, that feels so good. And let me explain this. This is the key. A source, this is big. Take a pause here. A source-inspired desire brings with it the finances necessary. Oh, this is so big. This is the whole reason I did this live broadcast. A source-inspired desire, which comes with clarity, which comes with a sense of deep knowing. When we have a source-inspired desire, we also have the confidence that everything that desire requires to happen is also along with it. The vortex has everything that we need. And yet, when we have a desire that's based out of a lack, when we have a desire that's based out of scarcity and not enough, that source is not behind that. And that's very challenging because when you're hungry, you're hungry. When you're hungry, you're hungry. And you have to sometimes think, How can I make this ramen in the best way possible? How can I get that dollar menu at McDonald's the best way possible? How can I eat that pasta with spaghetti sauce in the best way possible? But I am so blessed that I get to ask these questions all day, every day. That's what I do all day, every day. I wake up and I immediately start listening. This morning I woke up and I ate some caramel M&Ms, and I woke up a little bit cranky, and some people got on my nerves, and some people pissed me off, and I wrote back some comments on my post. And I'm like, that's okay. I worked it out. Just breathe it out. Just breathe it out. However I feel is A-okay. 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 Yeah, however I feel right now. Do. However I feel is A-okay. However I feel is A-okay. However I feel is A-okay. Yeah, however I feel right now. Hey, let me tell you something. The doorway. Okay, this is another big one. The doorway, the entryway to feeling good now, the entryway to feeling good now is being at peace with however you're feeling. Some people think Dr. Fun is advocating, be happy, everybody, be happy. Oh my God, smile more, laugh more, play more. Well, those are all good things. But over everything, Dr. Fun is advocating, be okay with however you're feeling now. That is the number one step, because until you can be okay with however you're feeling now, you can't feel better. Because if you're judging yourself for feeling bad, if you're judging yourself for feeling bad, you can't feel better. You see how that works? You see how being okay with however you're feeling, what it does is, as Abraham would say, it releases resistance, it puts you in the receptive mode, and it helps you move up the emotional scale. If you're judging yourself for being low on the emotional scale, then you're going to stay stuck. And so the very first thing I did before I stopped drinking, I didn't try to stop drinking. I started to appreciate myself while I was drinking my Steel 211 with vodka every night. I appreciated myself while I was drinking and getting drunk every night for years and years and years. And you know what? The universe worked it out that one night I didn't have enough money to even buy a beer, and I was kind of like that. I was feeling just agitated, and I said, that's it. Because I was making Abraham videos in the daytime, and I was getting hammered at night. Because I still had the old momentum. And I just decided one day, I said, that's it. I'm not going to drink tonight. And you know what? I made it. I can still remember I made it through that one night. I couldn't sleep all night because my body was adjusting. And after that night, it was actually about 4 years ago. After that night, I was like, that's it. I'm not drinking again. And I didn't. And you know, if I want to drink, this is the key. If I want to drink, I will. Hey, man, like I said, however I feel is A-okay. So let me say this again. The key element to feeling good is to find a way to be okay with however you're feeling right now. You cannot sit in self-judgment and allow yourself to feel good. You cannot. You cannot judge yourself and be. Let me say this. One, self-judgment does not come from Source. Source does not use self-judgment. Source does not use criticism. Source does not use belittling. Source does not use motivational talks. Source always says, it's okay. It's okay. Source always says, where you are right now is perfect. And you know what? Even more than that, it's been orchestrated from your higher self. Do you know how many regrets I have about my life? Do you know how many regrets? That many. Zero. Zero. And whatever your life is right now, no regrets. Everything is perfect. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care, because regret is for suckers. Self-doubt is for suckers. You know why? Because Source will never join us on a lower flying disc. Never. That's why it always feels bad to be in a lower flying disc. But Source just says, it's okay. Enjoy that lower flying disc. Enjoy that lower flying disc. Enjoy that lower flying disc. It's all right. You gotta know low before you can know high. You gotta know sad before you can know happy. You gotta know both sides. Okay, I'm coming to a big intersection here. No regrets. Yeah, I do have that preachy tendency, Isa. For some of you who don't know, I used to be a Christian missionary for 30 years. Well, essentially. That's how I traveled the world. I traveled to South Africa, Middle East, Syria, Jordan, China, Tibet, Nepal, India, Pakistan, Turkey, Bulgaria. And I appreciate all that I learned, all that I experienced. And I love my freedom now so much. Feels good to feel good. 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 Feels good to feel good, good. Feels good to feel good. So I think I'll just feel good right now. How about you? Feels good to feel good. 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 Feels good to feel good, good. Feels good to feel good. So I think I'll just feel good right now. So I think I'll just feel good right now. Oh, come on, let's just feel good right now. Feels good to feel good. Woo! Feels good to feel good. Feels good to feel good. Feels good to feel good. So, you know what I think? When I see people with, of course I had a car. I'm American. I had a car most of my life. I noticed today when I was leaving the tent where I live that people had cars. And I had a strange feeling. It was I was like, oh, why would I want one of those? Funny, huh? And I realized that wait just 1 second. There we go. I realized that I don't want a car so much as I want to have places that I want to go. I don't want airline tickets as much as I want to have places I want to go. You see what I mean? I want to have places I want to go. I want to have places as I'm in alignment. So the idea is you have to have a car. And I'm like, if I had a car right now, where would I go? I don't have anywhere to go. And I realized I'm free. And so, you know when I'll have a car? At the exact moment. What did I say earlier? If you missed it, this was the key. What I said earlier was, with every source-born desire, focus of clarity, along with it comes all of the resources necessary. And even the boldness to maybe ask for money, or maybe you'll ask people to share or whatever, because you want them to join in with the fun. But whenever we have a source-born vision or clarity, everything necessary for that to happen is all involved. It's like a package vacation. Everything's included. Everything's included. And so all we have to focus on is the clarity of what we want, of relaxing in the moment, of feeling good now. And the money, that's not our business. That's not our business. That comes along with the so Anytime we're tempted to focus on the outcomes or on when am I going to do this, like, no, come back to the moment. Come back to the moment. Come back to the moment. Come back to this now. Come back to the moment. And part of me doesn't want to do that because I'm like, yeah, but, you know, what about? And I stopped and I said, Tim, right now you posted your album. And up until an hour ago, nobody had purchased it. And I thought, oh man, yesterday you had the flow, but today you kind of just did it because it was a good idea. And you know, I don't know, man. And I stopped and I said, wait a minute, right now, why do I need any money? I have food, shelter, clothes, computer, Wi-Fi, everything. And I realized, you know what? Needing more money was just an idea. It wasn't a source-inspired idea. You see, let me say that again. Source-inspired ideas come with all of the necessary ingredients, are all-inclusive. Source-inspired ideas are... Let me tell you something. Do you know that I have a book published? It was actually about a year ago this month. Do you know how I published my book? Do you know how I published my book? I followed my moment-by-moment inspiration. I posted quotes, poems, rhymes, ideas on Facebook. And a friend of mine who's a publisher who's looking to publish more books said, I really like your posts. Would you be interested in making it into a book? You know what I said at first? I said, no, that's okay. I'm going to change hands. I'm going to look at that. Oh, a whole new world. So Leon says it's the best book he has. You know what, Leon? Bless you, man. I got to tell you, people, source-inspired ideas come fully loaded. So I said, no thanks. Then about 3 months later, she messaged me again. She said, I just want to ask you again, wouldn't it be good to make a book out of all these things? I mean, your quotes, I find that when I'm out for a walk and things, they come to me. They're really encouraging. I think it'd be good if we could make a book so other people could read it. And that time I said, okay. You know what I did? I downloaded my Facebook account. Hi, Rich and Laura. I downloaded my Facebook account, which, you can download your whole Facebook account. Yeah, you can actually download your whole Facebook account. Pictures, posts, everything. I sent her about 50 pages of Facebook quotes of my stuff. And she organized it into categories. Brooke Kuselin, I didn't know her then. I don't remember how I met her. She designed the cover. And then they published the book. That's it. All I did was post every day on Facebook. That's all I do now. I sing every day. I make songs every day. I think at this point I have probably over 300 songs. And there, of course, I have infinite number of songs because they come like dew on the grass. Songs come to me. There's no limit. They just come and come and come and come and come. Come and come and come and come and come and chameleon. They come and go. They come and go. So, it feels so good to focus. Focus on what I want. It feels so good to focus. Focus on what I want. Hi, Diana. It feels so good to focus. Focus on what I want. It feels so good to focus. Focus on what I want. Do. It feels so good to focus. Focus on what I want. It feels so good to focus. Focus on what I want. It feels so good to focus. Focus on what I want. It feels so good to focus. Focus on what I want. Sometimes I don't know what I want. I just focus on my breathing. I just focus on being quiet. All the answers come when we're quiet, we're still. You don't have to figure anything out. Just be still. I don't know if I'll ever make $1 billion. Let me tell you this. I don't know if I'll ever make $1 million or $1 billion or $1 trillion or whatever. But I know I'm not going to care. It'll just be the next logical step. Like I said, no matter where you are in life, no matter where you think you want to be, let's say your goal is to climb atop a famous mountain. You know, the day you get to the top of the mountain, the top's just going to be the next logical step. So no matter how far away you think your dream is, or maybe you have oh, I want this, I want that, I'm going to be happy when I get this or get that. Maybe you will. But whenever you get there, it's going to be the next logical step. So that's why we're ready, ready, ready. Are you ready to be ready? Ready, ready, ready. Yes, I'm ready to be ready. Ready, ready, ready. Are you ready to be ready? Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready to be ready. 2, 3, 4. Ready, ready, ready. Are you ready to be ready? Ready, ready, ready. Yes, I'm ready to be ready. Ready, ready, ready. Are you ready to be ready? Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready to be ready. That's what ready to be ready means. It means I'm following the path. I'm breathing. I'm connecting. I'm following my source inspiration right now. And your source inspiration right now might give you an idea of something to do next year. But it will come to you right now. It will happen right now. Everything's happening right now. So let me say this. This has been very fun for me. I haven't done I'm sitting in Wendy's having a little late lunch. And this idea just came to me to do. It was seamless. I love inspired action because there's no thought. You just do it. I love the feeling. But in order to live by inspired action, you have to stop depending on intellectually, logically assessed action. We have to kind of wean ourselves from trying to figure everything out, because those two don't work together well. And I love knowing that everything that I desire is right here with me now. The only thing for me to do is feel good and allow. Feel good and allow. Feel good and allow. The only thing for me to do is feel good and allow. Everything that I desire is right here with me now. The only thing for me to do, you got it. Feel good and allow. Feel good and allow. Feel good and allow. The only thing for me to do is feel good and allow. Feel good and allow. Feel good and allow. The only thing for me to do is feel good and allow. Doo, 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 doo. Look at this. There's a freeway. It's a freeway. I'm going to walk under the freeway. Isn't that trippy? I've never done that before. So, everything I want is downstream. Everything I want is downstream. Everything I want is downstream. So I throw my hands up and I float downstream. Everything I want is downstream. Everything I want is downstream. Everything I want is downstream. So I throw my hands up and I float downstream. Everything I want is downstream. Everything I want is downstream. Everything I want is downstream. So I throw my hands up and I float downstream. I throw my hands up and I float downstream. You know, I throw my hands up and I float downstream. That's kind of trippy. There's these light poles under the freeway. See? I guess at nighttime. So it's woo, spooky. Feels good to feel good. So I gave a lot of information in this live broadcast. So you can go back and watch it. I'm at Fashion Valley Mall now. You know, all the malls in San Diego, almost all the malls are outside. They're outdoor malls. Like, there's only a couple that are inside because it's like this every day. So they built the malls outside, where when you walk from store to store, you're outside, you're not covered. Yeah, it's okay. I like indoor malls too. Actually, I don't like the mall much at all, but theoretically. Everything I want is downstream. I can remember where I was when I wrote that song. I can remember where I was when I wrote every song, actually. Because I didn't really, to say I wrote the song is kind of a misnomer, right? When I get a song, it usually comes from an idea that's kind of in my consciousness. And then I kind of I focus on the idea with the intention of putting words to it in a song. And it's like I just cooperate with spirit, you know? And then it comes, and then we kind of work on it together. It's like hey, how about this? How about slower, faster? What's the melody that sounds good? It's a real but it's like, it's not hard work. And usually the song from inception to singing is maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah, usually. Sometimes I put a song in my phone and I leave it for the next day because it's not full yet. It's a good nugget, but it's not complete. And so I'll leave it for the next day. Sometimes when I'm like, oh, I want to sing a song, I'll go back to my voice memos and go, oh, there's one, and I'll finish it or something. Well, there's Bloomingdale's. I'm not going in there right now, although nothing, you know, it's a nice place. Okay. I love to recognize the perfection all around. Perfection in the sky and perfection on the ground. Perfection deep within and in all of us abounds. I love to recognize the perfection all around. I love to recognize the perfection all around. Thank you. I love you. I'm going to say goodbye now. I feel the energy. Finish.